and welcome to another episode on Streellingo. Today, I have a very, very interesting guest with a very, very interesting life. When it comes to life beyond work, most of us will say we have family to take care of, we have kids to take care of, and all of that, right? Today, I have Komal with me. Komal is a lawyer by profession, but once she goes back home to seven cats and three dogs. So that's her after hours duty. Komal, welcome to Streellingo. I am so grateful to you for giving this time. Um, were you always born into a family of pets? Is that how your love for pets grew?
Hey, hi, Smita. Glad to be part of Streellingo.
Thank you.
Um, like you said, yes, it's not only after hours, it's also before our work. And I mean, the best job I think that I have. Yes, to answer your question, I have always had this compassion for animals since my childhood. In fact, I started doing rescues and taking care of animals since the age of 10, I think, when I think most people would just look at them and find them cute or whatever. But I took up the initiative and I started rescuing them. I understood veterinary work and and the best part was that I was encouraged even more because the veterinary doctor whom I was taking the dogs or the cats to would actually treat them free of cost for me, knowing that, oh, she's a little girl, she's come with a good intent, so that I keep continuing that work. She has been a very important part by ensuring that I don't charge her, of course, knowing that they were strays and they really needed help. She actually helped a
But
lot.
tell me one thing, usually parents are very weary of letting their children play with stray animals because they may not be vaccinated, they may get bitten, things like that. Were your parents not scared about this infatuation that you had with animals?
uh Not really. Okay, firstly, एक तो हम पंजाबी हैं, हमें डर तो लगता है नहीं, ठीक है. The second thing is, my parents have also had animals at home,
Okay.
but yeah, they have not gone all out like me. So it has been a little, I mean, they're not anti-animals or something, but they've always encouraged me. But I have also ensured that if something happens, they are made aware, and I take care of myself. So that has always been told, okay, you're going here, ensure, and trust me, since childhood, even though a dog or a cat has never bitten me, I have always taken an anti-rabies vaccine. Because I do that kind of work, it is very important that I take the vaccine as a precautionary measure. So that is one thing that I am safe of, because maximum what will they do? They just bite. That's it. So I already have my precaution ready.
Komal, when you were a child, you said that you were rescuing street animals. You found a very nice doctor who, because you were a child and children don't usually have money on them, she was treating those animals for free. So, how long did this go on in your life till you actually started rescuing them and taking them home? And what were your parents' reaction to this? I'm
So,
asking because my mother would be petrified if I took an animal home, just like that, because she's allergic to animals, to cats and dogs.
oh,
But just like that, I think even if she was not allergic, there are many people who cannot fathom the idea that, you can bring a stray animal home and, keep them as a pet. But then your parents, because you have so many, I'm assuming that they agreed to it. What was that first time that you got a rescue home? How did they react?
okay. So to be honest, I have been getting rescues home, but I have not kept them home. So initially, for a very long time, it's been getting the animal home, treating the animal, and releasing it back
Okay.
to wherever it has come from. Reason, because I was a student and my mother, she was a working woman then. Now she is retired, and my father has also been working. So practically, it was not possible to have the animal home permanently because there was no one home to take care of the animal, and we didn't want that kind of trouble to take place with the animal. But yeah, I've had the worst cases, and to be honest, my mother has been extremely supportive because she also has a lot of compassion in her, and I get that compassion from her. So she cannot, she will never tell me that, oh, it's injured, don't get it home because of XYZ reasons. She's never done that. Of course, I have taken undue advantage of that and have now had 7 cats and 3 dogs. But yes, it's because of my mother that it has encouraged me even more.
But lawyers are so busy, inherently your profession requires like you to be on your toes 24 hours. How do you manage? Because I know that taking care of pets is also a requires a good amount of time. They require attention, they require that pampering. How do you manage that, Komal? Because morning you are at work, sometimes you are going home and then working. How does that play out in your life? You don't have one pet, you have 10 pets.
So the good part is my pets have actually adjusted to my life schedule. Okay. And in the mornings, they're very active, and so are they in the evenings. In the day, they are generally lazed out and they're sleeping.
Because you are not
They have
around.
yeah, because I'm not there. And of course, my parents are at home now, but there's not much of trouble in the day at all because they're all in their sleep mode. So they have literally scheduled themselves. Okay, when she's available, we are going to be all out and all crazy around her. But when she's not there, okay, let's just not trouble her parents. That's
Oh,
how it's become now.
very
But
nice.
yeah, removing time uh, is essential for me because as much as my profession, or I would say more than my profession, I have always had this in mind that my passion, my goals towards rescues or taking care of animals will always be priority. So somehow I have taken work home. I still take work home. I will continue to do that because thankfully, my pets understand that and do not disturb me while I work. But I'm able to basically balance both, if not staying long hours at work, but at home, yes, I think I'm able to manage somewhere somehow because there is this one kind of a tuning that I have set with all my pets that I am at home because of you, so you do not disturb me while I work. That's how it is.
I forgot to ask you this question, but you don't only have cats, you have cats and cats and dogs inherently are supposed to be enemies. It's the Tom and Jerry scenario. So, is it what it is in your house as well? Tom and Jerry scenario happening? Cats running, dogs chasing them.
Actually, it's the other way around that um, one of my dog doesn't like a few of my cats because they're very dominating and they're Tom cats. So, and this dog, my female dog, she's like, please don't bother me. I don't want to bother you. You don't bother me.
Oh
That's
my
how it is. And
God.
otherwise, it's so instead of Tom and Jerry, it's actually Jerry and Tom, and then it's also Tom and Tom.
Oh, Tom
So
and
my
Tom.
cats don't get along with each other also. But thankfully, my dogs have been very accommodating and they've been very nice to all my cats. And they have been so nice to my cats that the cats sit on my dogs' heads. So it's an absolute myth that they don't get along. Of course, if they have been together since childhood, they've grown up together, then of course there is a different bond altogether, which is also a case in my house with one of my dog and one of my cats. And in fact, um, my dog, being a male dog, has literally nurtured one of the kittens and has been a mother to that kitten. So such kind of situation has also happened in my house, and I see that now also, despite the cat being 2 years old today, and my dog also being about 2 3 years old today, he's playing the exact same role today also, and my cat finds absolute comfort with him.
Wow. Many people don't know this, but such is your passion for and love for animals that you have opened your own pet food brand called Tailygram. The name itself is so cute. All animals have tails, so
Thank you.
Tailygram. For anybody who's watching this episode, I'm going to be sharing the link for Tailygram. But Komal, tell us a little bit about how you started Tailygram. What was your idea behind it, or is it just that, oh, I love pets, so this is just another extension of what I want to be doing for them?
Okay, so Telegram idea was a very thought over idea, because in the course of rescues that I have been doing, um, there have been multiple incidences where cats, dogs lose their lives because of the kind of food they eat. Okay. The kind of food that is absolutely high in preservatives, high in sodium levels. And obviously, dogs and cats do not realize the fact, okay, we have had a lot of sodium in us, so it's very essential for us to drink water, otherwise, our kidneys will get spoiled. They don't have that intellect, and we don't expect them to have that. However, um, it's become very easy for pet stores to sell out such kind of food now, because honestly, people do not have the time to make food and serve the animals, because they're all occupied in their own kind of lifestyle. Which is why I thought of Telegram, which is a fresh food brand. We cater to food which is freshly cooked and freshly delivered. It has a lot of natural ingredients, and it has zero preservatives. So the purpose behind this is to ensure good health to animals, whether it is a cat or a dog, and to give them a stronger gut, a higher immunity, and a longer lifespan. And the best part is that it is very, very, very economically priced. So I didn't want to come up with a brand that would go, okay, yeah, we have all of this, but XYZ is the price for this. So then a common man or anybody who's got pets like me, so many of them, would not want, to have to dig a hole in their pocket. It should be affordable, and it should be available on an everyday basis. A person should be able to feed the animal every day, which is why the pricing has been kept at an economical um, condition, wherein uh, and plus we've got varieties also, so it's not one particular kind of food, and also we deliver. So you don't even have to take the pain of coming down. Since it's a cloud kitchen, we don't really have a setup as such, but we do give that service in Mumbai, in Navi Mumbai, anywhere.
Tell me one more thing, Komal. Since you mentioned that this is fresh food that you're providing through Telegram, so a lot of pet owners, when they are traveling a long distance and are not able to take their pets with them, I think this is a very healthy option, no? Because for pet owners, one of the main concerns when they are traveling and leaving their pets behind is, I hope the person is able to, who's going to be taking care of the animal behind them, is able to give them, food on time or the proper food. So I think Telegram, if the more people know about Telegram, I think it can serve as a very, very healthy option when owners are traveling, don't you think?
So that has happened also recently, since 2 3 months. Um, this new wing has also opened up for me, wherein people have left their dogs at dog boardings, or with somebody who does boarding for dogs or for cats, and they are in a fix because they are not very used to the kind of food that the dog eats.
Hmm.
However, they have been open to ask the preference of what the dog prefers to eat. Also, they give them, I have tied up with a couple of boarding centers also, wherein I have my entire menu that is left out at their outlets. And, they tie up with me, and I deliver food every single day in those boarding centers also, so that the dog is getting good food. The food is not compromised at all,
Great. I
since
think.
it's already away from home.
Hmm.
And you know uh, food is a big issue when it comes to dogs who are away from home, and are not in their uh, regular or similar
Setup.
environment. But yeah, so we also give them options. Okay, if the dog is not okay with this, okay, we'll try giving this, we'll try giving that. So just to give them all the comfort that's possible, since they're already away from home and a little troubled about that.
Komal, I think it's a little bit of a coincidence or maybe something to do with your past karma, but you are a lawyer. So the legal know-how is important when you want to do something on a larger scale and officially. So you have Wajud. I will obviously
Yeah.
ask you to say a few things about Wajud so people know. But then when you are opening up a non-profit organization, you have to know the nitty-gritties, right? I think you being a lawyer and Wajud coming into play. Because if you weren't a lawyer, you would have to seek legal help. But because you're a lawyer, you found it easy to start Wajud. The name itself is so beautiful. It means identity, your identity. And each and every animal, not only human beings, each and every animal has its own identity. Tell me how you started Wajud. Why did you start Wajud? And given the fact that you are so busy, how are you going to be able to cope up with so much?
Okay. So, Vajood actually started off in 2020 during COVID. In
Okay.
fact, the first day of lockdown was when Vajood came into existence, because the rescue that I was doing was plain rescues and not, as an individual. But I wanted this to convert into an organization where a lot of other people can join, a lot of volunteering work can happen. I'm able to help out more animals and maybe other NGOs as well who require help. So we coordinate with each other, we help each other. Because to be honest, animal rescues here in India is not very recognized.
Hmm.
People literally struggle to get donations, to get people to understand the fact that this is torture and you should not do this. Or, okay, if they understand, the next step is, okay, so now what? There has to be some place where the animal needs to be kept if it is sick or it is injured or it is disabled or any of that issue. So in COVID, when I started Vajood, we started off with feeding programs.
Okay.
Since everything was locked down and
Hmm.
there was no food available, we started with feeding.
Okay.
So our area was not constrained to just a small area. What we would do, of course, there are feeders. There are a lot of feeders who have their local area dogs that they feed, and they're doing an excellent job.
Hmm.
But our work is such that we have larger areas that we cover. So we start off somewhere in Mumbai because I reside in Chembur. We start from Chembur and we go all the way to Belapur or
Okay.
maybe beyond. So that entire belt is fed. So those are regular programs that we organize, especially the dogs who live on highways or in those mangrove areas in Navi Mumbai or in a commercial setup. Since everything was shut, they were clearly not having food, and out of starvation, they were beginning to die. So that's how we came up with starting off Vajood. And Vajood, of course, is a registered Section 8 company. So in terms of collecting donations or seeking anything in kind, there is absolute security for the donor also that it is being utilized in the correct place. However, we haven't still gone all out because we are work in progress of setting up a proper space for them. Because as of now, we're just able to do spot treatments. We're able to only feed them wherever there is no food available. But very soon, we'll be coming up with a space that will be available for all kind of animals, not only dogs and cats, whether it is cattle, whether it is reptiles, whether it's horses, whether it's anything. We
Wow.
will bring that up soon, and then I think we'll be able to go all out seeking help and donations from people who would willingly want to, because there are a lot of people who want to do work for animals, but either they do not have the time or they are not courageous enough to maybe come up and do on job work, of feeding or maybe of touching the animal. All of that is there, but they do have compassion somewhere or the other. So such people can definitely support us in terms of funding such good cause for animals. And I think then it becomes a little more easier for us also to get more and more animals to rescue and give them a better life.
I'll ask you this question. I recently came across this story on Twitter. So, apartments usually have, high-rise apartments usually have lifts, and people with pets, when they're taking their pets for walk, they will use the lift to go down. So, I think the case is from Noida, where there was a pet owner with his dog. I think it was a lab, and there was a child who was feeling scared to go into the lift along with the pet. Now, the whole attention, I think, from my understanding, I think the pet owner could have waited and let the little child with his mother go because the child is genuinely scared. That is what I thought of the situation, because I believe that while I am a big lover of pets, especially dogs, I also understand the fact that everybody may not share the same emotion that I do for animals. In such a situation, you end up villainizing that poor animal who cannot speak. I think you don't have to take it upon your ego if you meet a non-pet lover. You don't have to take it on your ego as a pet lover. As long as I see somebody not harming the animal, if they are harming the animal unnecessarily, I have a big problem. But if they don't like the animal and want to stay away from the animal, I don't have a problem. To each his own, right? What would you, Komal? I am only a pet lover, but you have taken this love for animals to great heights. You've started a food brand for them, you've started a rescue program for them. What would you advise people in such a situation?
So, like you rightly pointed out, Smita, it is very important to let people be if they are not animal friendly. However, if they do not harm, it's
Exactly.
absolutely okay. Okay, this we have to understand the fact, and my message to all the viewers here would be that we are on this earth to coexist. We do not own the earth. However, we cannot force others to do this. We simply cannot tell them, oh, it's my dog, so you shoo away from here. No, that's not how it works. If we are existing with other animals, the other person, the other human being also understands this fact. However, just because it is scared, the person is not willing to enter the lift along with you, like the example that you've given, or maybe does not want to walk on the road where your dog is walking, which is absolutely okay. You do not have to hold a grudge against such a person.
Exactly.
Okay. However, we can always tackle this situation a little more subtly, a little more politely by telling them this, that, you know, I have my own brain, you have your own brain, however, my dog does not. So let's just let the dog see its comfort. If he's okay, then we can just get into the lift. If you're not okay, we are absolutely okay waiting. Or in any other scenario. However, I'll tell you why this has happened also, since you've spoken about this incidents. I'll tell you why people react also like this. It's not purely ego, I would say, but a lot of people have faced a lot of abuse, whether it is mental abuse or physical abuse. Just because you have an animal, you are looked at very differently.
Okay.
Oh, you have a pet, they look at you in a certain way, wherein having a pet or rescuing an animal is something not normal, something abnormal, that you're doing something out of the world. And I will definitely appreciate, because you're doing something out of the world. So you're not the ordinary, you're doing something great. You're doing some work that the other person has not even thought of. So the
Why
same
would
time when
you
I'm
say
asking
that
you to be,
having a pet, people look at it differently? Because is it something that could have existed, let's say, 10 years ago? Because today in Bombay, I can tell you, the area where I live, every fifth house has a pet, I would like to say. Every fifth house has a pet. You can imagine the number of pets that are there in my area. But I didn't know this, that, but thank you for bringing it up. I would like you to throw some light on why you think that people look at you differently when you have a pet.
see, I'm sure you have pets, correct? You have dogs. You speak to your dogs, you communicate to dogs as much as you communicate to a human being. You treat them just like another human being.
One
And
way conversation. I'm only asking the questions, I'm only giving the answers, but I love that conversation.
but they do listen to you, and they definitely know what you're saying. They're not unknown to what you're talking. They're very smart. Okay. But when you do this in front of a person who's never had a pet, or who is, just living a very usual, typical, normal life, they look at you. Okay, is it okay to do that? Is it normal? Is she okay? Those kind of people also exist. How can you talk to a dog? That kind of expression comes up. Are you okay? Your dog doesn't understand anything, you know but this particular feeling is only understood by people who are living that life, and it's a beautiful feeling. Okay.
Of course, of course.
And and the other kind of people that I'm talking about, the ones who are okay with an animal being around but not wanting to get too involved, do have some kind of a mindset when it comes to people who are having animals. And then the person with the pet, or the person who's rescuing, definitely feels it somewhere or the other, because somewhere, sometime, something has happened with them.
Hmm,
100%.
hmm.
Okay. So like you said, every fifth house has a pet. The laws are yet to come into place to ensure that these particular animals are treated equivalent to people who live in that society. For example, usage of the lift. Okay, earlier that wasn't also allowed. This law had to be brought into existence because people were not cooperating with others. Okay. Secondly, there are so many stray animals that come into your society and sit just for shelter. People have been showing them off. The watchmen have been hitting them away. There is big, then looking at these kind of incidences and the rise in such incidents, again the law played a very important role, and brought about a rule into existence that even if you see a watchman or a security guard holding a stick threatening, you can complain against that person. Then there is also a directive that is issued wherein you can go in your society and you can create a feeding area. However, the it is subject to being cleaned, being without any food particles left, or the newspaper or whatever you're feeding it. It has to be kept clean. However, a society has to dedicate a specific area for feeding. If you're feeding stray cats, stray dogs, the ones who live in your society, all these have been brought into existence because people were not willingly doing it. So which is why I wanted this aspect to come out also, that even though there are people who are okay with, some people are, wow, I cannot have a pet, but I'm so glad you have one, so I'm going to come to your house and play with your pets. That's one type of, one category of people. Then there is a category, okay, you have a pet, great, live with your pet, I'll live my life. Then this third category that I'm talking about, you have a pet, I don't like it, and then they do such things, that. So somewhere in the mind of every pet parent or every rescuer or every feeder, this thing is there, that there is a resent that I'm receiving from the other side, which is why they have impulsive reactions. And they are not wrong, but yes, the situation has become like that, where they are always considered to be the villain. And, the blame that comes out is, oh, this ego, it's been taken incorrectly. So,
I
of
think
course, like you said,
I think they end up villainizing that poor animal who cannot speak for itself. Most of the times I've seen where a pet owner and a non-pet owner are arguing. If you look at that poor animal's face, the poor animal is just looking into oblivion, thinking he can't even understand what is happening. So I think if you take two steps, a non-pet lover, a pet lover, you take two steps and coexist. I think a lot of this bickering for and against animals will be put to rest, because give or take, like you mentioned, we need to develop the idea of coexistence. Where are these animals supposed to go? You told me a very beautiful line one day, that the street that these animals live in, that's their house. We have houses to go back to, they don't have houses to go back to. As long as the animal is not a mad animal, where again you make a phone call and there is somebody who will come and pick that animal, uh, and make sure that no human being is harmed, or no other animal is harmed, because a mad animal can harm another animal also, not only a human being. I think we should just coexist, because we cannot be so selfish and say that this just belongs to us. The earth belongs to cats and dogs and all other animals as much as it belongs to human beings. The only difference is that we can talk and they can't.
yeah, but they can understand much better than we can. The best part about animals is that they do not have the emotion of ego,
Yeah.
which humans do, and which is why things go haywire. So, like you rightly pointed out, coexistence is the key, where you can avoid bickering with each other. You can avoid the trauma or the trouble that you're giving to that poor little animal, which has got nothing to do with all this. And that's a very strong and important message that I also want to give out to people, that live and let live.
Thank you so much, Komal, for doing this. I know how busy you are. Telegram, Wajud, your life as a lawyer, and then 10 pets at home. I I I really, really look up to you because you have so many things on your plate and you're always smiling with all these responsibilities and willing to take on more also. So thank you so much for giving this time to Streellingo.
Thank you. Thank you. It's
I
really nice that you have brought this topic up, and I'm glad that you chose me to speak about it, because people like us really need such kind of platforms to educate people and to spread out certain messages where, it is very essential that people understand certain things in a certain way. And people like you are doing an excellent job by providing such kind of platforms for this work. So excellent job, Smita. Keep it up.
Thank you, Komal. But let me tell you that the day I heard you have 10 pets, I knew that I was going to be doing a podcast with you sooner or later, and it's finally happened. So thank you so much on behalf of the entire team at Streellingo. I wish you all the best with Telegram. I wish you all the best with Wajud, and I hope many, many more animals who need to be rescued find or meet Komal somehow or the other. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.